further discussion, the chair recognizes Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I do have an amendment.
The amendment appears to be long. Would you like to explain?
Thank you, Body. I believe Kansas is facing two crises right now. Number one, we are facing an economic depression, which, you know, if you don't have anybody calling you, I have people calling me every week, calling me saying, you know, they're about to lose their house, they're about to lose their car, they're about to be evicted. I have moms who are calling me, telling me that they're getting their kids taken away because they can't even take care of their kids, which is considered neglect. You know, I think this this amendment would address some economic concerns we see right now in the economy. And, you know, we're facing a second crisis right now, which is this environmental crisis, which is gonna, you know, cause a lot of problems for our state. You know, right now in this bill, it does, starting in 2025, it does implement a $100 fine on carbon pollution. That fine will grow $50 a year, starting in 2025, being $100 to increasing $50 a year to $300 in 2029. Some people might say, you know, making people pay $300 for 1 metric ton of carbon is a lot of money. That number is artificially low, because if you calculate the damage that metric ton of carbon is going to cause the environment in the year 2100, on a lowball estimate, 1 metric ton is going to cost $1,100. So this rate is very low, and I think if we did adopt this amendment, this would allow the state of Kansas to send every single person in the state $500 a month, no questions asked. This will also resolve the climate crisis. The fiscal note for this, it's $1 million to set up the program, and then it's $15 million a year. With that, I will stand for questions.
Is there objection to waiving the reading of the amendment? The clerk will read.
Page 1, following line 6 by inserting section 1A on and after January 1, 2025. Number 1, the Secretary of Health and Environment shall assess a carbon content charge against each distributor in the state based upon the carbon content of each unit of fuel sold by the distributor in the state. Except as provided in subsection B, the Secretary shall assess on each distributor the carbon content charge in accordance with the following schedule. A, in calendar year 2025, $100 per metric ton. B, in calendar year 2026, $150 per metric ton. C, in calendar year 2027, $200 per metric ton. D, in calendar year 2028, $250 per metric ton. E, in calendar year 2029, $300 per metric ton. And F, in calendar year 2030 and each calendar year thereafter, an amount that is $6 per metric ton more than the preceding year's charge. 2, on each type of fuel, the Secretary shall convert the amount per metric ton to a rate per unit of fuel using the most recent applicable carbon dioxide emissions coefficient published by the United States Energy Information Administration. On or before December 1 each year, the Secretary shall publish a rate per unit of fuel that will be in effect during the following calendar year for each type of fuel. Number 3, the Secretary shall undertake all reasonable efforts to collect the charges pursuant to the section at the first point of sale of the fuel. A distributor shall collect the charges required pursuant to this section upon each sale of fuel to each which the charge applies. The distributor shall identify the charges collected as a separate invoice entry. On or before the 15th day of each month, the distributor shall submit to the Secretary the following. A, the distributor's name and place of business. B, the quantity and type of fuel sold in the preceding calendar month. C, the assessment due of the fuel sold in the preceding calendar month. And D, any other information required by the Secretary. B, number 1, the Secretary shall...
The objection has been waived. Do we have members that would like to request to speak to the amendment? The chair recognizes Representative Shu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, while I think this is a valuable thing to discuss and talk about, and I've had many conversations about it, I genuinely don't see how this pertains to the bill, so I challenge the germaneness. Thank you.
Germaneness has been challenged. Would the Rules Chair make a ruling on the germaneness of Representatives Kessler's amendments? Sorry, Representative Coleman's amendments to SB 24. The chair recognizes the Rule Chair, Representative Patton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We went through both the bill and the amendment. While they both deal with fuel, we were unable to find a second point of contact between the amendment and the underlying bill. And to save you all time, I'm not going to go through the analysis of both the bill and the amendment, but we could not find that second point of contact. So we're finding that it's not germane. Sorry.
We are back on the bill. Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Body. You know, I do think these two bills, I mean, the amendment is very similar. You know, they're both an act concerning energy. They both concern propane and natural gas. You know, it's not too far off to discuss banning, you know, climate action, and then on the other hand, for us to take climate action. So with that, I do challenge the Rules Chair's ruling, and I do request division. Thank you.
The ruling of the Rules Chair has been challenged. I will remind the body that this is a debatable motion and is only debatable by the following people: the member making the motion to amend, Representative Coleman; the member carrying the measure to be amended, Representative Kessler; the majority leader or his designee, Representative Hawkins; and the minority leader or his designee, Representative Sawyer. Each member is limited to 2 minutes. The chair recognizes Representative Coleman. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Body. You know,
You may proceed.
Thank you, Body. You know, I just think if we can have a discussion about how we can stop a city from taking climate action, we should also be able to have the same discussion on what we as a statewide, what can we do to propose solutions to fix the climate crisis? You know, these two issues, whether we're going to stop something or we're going to do something, it's both related to energy, it's both related to fuels. You know, on one hand, you're talking about taxing fuels. On one hand, you're talking about, you know, not allowing cities to prohibit certain fuels. You know, these are two issues that are very close. And I think, you know, today we have really tried to stop debate on so many issues. And I really think this is an issue that should be debated because it deserves a debate. And just because the amendment and the bill are so closely tied together. So with that, I will hope you'll push. I hope you excuse me. I hope you will vote to overrule the Rules Chair's ruling. Thank you.
The chair will recognize Representative Kessler. You have 2 minutes. The chair will recognize the majority leader's designee, Representative Finch.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the body. I know it's been a long afternoon on the floor for everyone. I do rise in support of the Rules Chair and the ruling. I would ask that you vote to sustain the Rules Chair in this ruling. This underlying bill is about one type of fuel and barring municipalities from prohibiting customers from using that source of fuel. The other bill is a wide-ranging tax increase that would impose a carbon tax on almost all fossil fuels used in the state, wherever and by whomever they may be used. It is far more expansive and broader than the underlying bill. It would not have 2 points of contact to the underlying bill. It is not a germane amendment. And so I would ask that you not vote with the minority member who brought the amendment. I would ask that you vote instead yes to sustain the ruling of the Rules Chair. And it's not lost on me that debate is being stifled by the challenging of this amendment today. Thank you, Madam Chair.
As a reminder, a yes vote will sustain the ruling of the chair. A no vote will overturn the ruling. The question arises, shall the chairperson's ruling be sustained? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. No. The ayes appear to have it. Division has been called. The clerk will open the roll and you may vote. Seeing 15 hands, roll call is in order. Okay. Has every member had an opportunity to vote? Representative Ohasabam is an aye. Is no? Ohasabam is a no. Couldn't see through the glare. All right, the clerk will close the roll. (100) having voted in. Okay. Is there any member that would like to change their vote? No members wishing to change their vote. 100 having voted in favor to sustain the chair's ruling, and 18 against. The motion passes. The clerk will record the vote. We're back on the bill. Is there further discussion? The chair recognizes Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Body. You know, I was really hoping to have an opportunity to discuss the Green New Deal in a more in-depth look, but, you know, instead, I think I'm just going to vote no on this bill. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Representative Kuthar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You certainly have heard what Senate Bill 24 does. And I'm here to tell you that nobody, when we were working this, is surprised. I'm totally conflicted on this bill. It is understandable that the gas entities want to protect their product. I get it. But the one thing that you're not hearing, well, you did hear from the representative from Lawrence, that this ordinance in Lawrence, the language, this threatening language that made this bill need to become a bill, it's strive to achieve. That's not a mandate. That's nothing. It's strive to achieve. Those are elected officials that are making the decision in Lawrence, Kansas, just like we're trying to make decisions up here, as we've heard about earlier on many issues today. I understand the need and the desire, again, as I said, to protect the gas entity. But the bottom line is, you know, this also was sparked because of California making the decision that they were going to go green. And I just sat there and I thought, well, just how green are we going in Kansas? I mean, we can't get a task force to discuss anything about energy. And we also aren't ever going to pass anything that California passes. And I think we all pretty much well know that. So I'm going to leave this to the wisdom of the body. I don't think we need this legislation. Certainly something could be addressed later on if it seems to be a problem. If we want uniformity, let's have a task force energy and create an energy plan for the state of Kansas so we know what we need to be dealing with coming down the pike instead of doing piecemeal addresses as this does. So as I said, I'm going to leave it up to the body, Madam Chair. Thank you.
For further discussion, the chair recognizes Representative Parker.
Thank you, body. We've had enough debate today. I'll be brief. I would just say that it is a sad day in the Kansas legislature when we are more worried about discriminating against energy companies than we are about voters in our republic. Thank you, Madam Chair.
If there is no further discussion, Representative Kessler, you may close.
I was going to make this really quick, but you know, this bill doesn't prohibit cities from talking to its customers, trying to persuade them, offering them incentives, trying to persuade them to, you know, to move in a different direction or move into a different direction or for another energy use. This bill simply protects our citizens from local mandates, restricting and eliminating their energy choices. This bill ensures that Kansas can have access to balanced energy solutions that are efficient, affordable, and clean. Madam Chair, I move that when the committee rises and reports, it reports SB 24 favorably for passage.
You've heard the motion by Representative Kessler to report SB 24 favorably. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. No. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion passes. This concludes our general orders. The chair recognizes the majority leader.